Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. I hope that today has been treating you well. In today's video I am going to be doing another eyeshadow palette bingo. I have been absolutely on a roll with these palette bingo videos recently. I'm wanting to explore my makeup collection a little bit more. My eyeshadow palettes need a little bit of love, so I feel like incorporating them in a video like this is quite fun. It gets me to use palettes that maybe I haven't used in a while. It gets me out of the rut that I get myself in with my eyeshadow palettes and gets me dabbling in some different shades. So I completely randomise all of the shades in a given eyeshadow palette. I pick 5 shades and then I try and come up with some sort of eyeshadow look with those 5 shades. And today we are doing NUDETRALS. I don't think I have done an eyeshadow palette bingo with this. I could be wrong. If I have, it has gone out of my brain, which is quite likely. But today we're going to be diving into this one. I have a load of content around this palette already. It's a lovely neutral, warm neutral palette. Came out in the summer, but I definitely feel like it's very autumn appropriate. So we're going to be picking 5 shades out of that palette. So I have got all of the shades in a wheel here. I don't need that plugged in a wheel on the Tiny Decisions app. So like I say, let's pick 5 and see what shades we get. First up, Delicate. Okay, so this one is a matte shade. It's almost like a greeny toned brown, but quite dark. I wouldn't be mad if this was the darkest shade that we picked out of this palette, and we've started with a matte. So positive from some of the palette bingo looks that I've been creating recently, where I pick 1 matte and 4 shimmers and it's just a whole thing. So shade number 2 is Classy. Okay, so we've got another matte, still quite deep, but more of a neutral brown. I feel like when I swatch these two next to each other, you can see how that first one is more green and this one is definitely more brown. So options, we have got options. So shade number 3, something lighter, hopefully. My favourite shade in the whole palette, Radiant. I love this one. I am very, very happy that we've picked that one. Just look at the way that that catches the light. It's my favourite shade in this whole palette. Either that one or Luxe, but probably that one because it's a little bit lighter. So shade number 4 is, I feel like these are all very close to each other. Touch. I can absolutely make that work. That is a lighter brown. Perfect transition-y sort of tone. Now with all of these, I mean this is a neutral palette, but if I could pick the 5th shade, which obviously I can't, but if I could pick the 5th shade, I would choose that matte mustard, which is called Icon. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Yeah, I mean the colour story is quite neutral so far, so I'll be able to make something with that. But let's see what we are getting for number 5. Satin. Okay, so that's like a pinky tone shimmer. I don't feel like that necessarily goes with Radiant incredibly well, but this colour story I am not in the slightest bit mad about. So that is all of the shades that we are working with today. I am thrilled. I don't think I have created a look where I use that Radiant shade and I don't love the way that it's turned out, you know, because it's just so transformative and beautiful. I absolutely love it. I wonder how that will look if I tap it over that one. that could be an option. So let me zoom you in. We can create an eye look with these 5 shades. So as always with these videos, I already have my eye base on. This is the... which one did I use? The Beauty Bay one, of course. Of course I used the Beauty Bay one, and I've literally just done my skincare routine and like washed my face. So that is why my face is looking so red. We're just going to ignore it. And I also have my brows on. Very messily, apparently, but let's just move on. Let's just move on to creating the look with this palette. So I think what I'm going to do is more of like a halo eye with the 2 shimmers like down the middle. Something quite simple, like quite simple for what I like to do. So let me get some brushes. So I'm going to start with a quite small sort of pencil brush, and I'm going to dip into the darkest shade that we're going to be using today, which is this one here called Delicate. And I'm going to tap that on the outer corner and the very, very inner corner. And I'm not going to worry about blending that out just yet. I'm just going to leave that colour where it is. Then I'm going to take, let's take a small fluffy brush, and I'll go into the next lightest shade, which is this one here called Classy, and take that on the side of that brush, and I'm going to tap that onto the lid next to that darkest shade. And I'm not really blending these, but I am just sort of tapping over that join between the two ever so lightly, and we're sort of getting the shape there. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip into that lightest matte shade, this one here, which is called Touch, and I'm going to tap that off, and I'm going to feather over the top edge of those mattes to blend that shade in a little bit, and also across the gap here to like add the crease back in to the eye. I might need a slightly smaller brush than this. Do I have a clean one? Absolutely not. I'm just gonna have to make do with this one. So I've started to blend those shades into that touch that I put through the crease with that bigger brush, but I feel like I just need to use a smaller brush. I'm so much better when I use a smaller brush. I always used to think that if I was using a bigger brush it would sort of blend easier, blend quicker, but that's just not the case. I highly recommend smaller eye brushes, because your eye is not a big surface area to be playing with. It's not a lot of wiggle room. Smaller brushes are definitely easier to like get into the areas that you need to. And then I'm just going to tap over with a little bit more of that darkest shade, which was called Delicate, just to deepen up again, right on the outer corner, and I feel like the inner corner's looking okay, but may as well, while we're here, may as well add a little bit. So, they are the mattes. They are as much as we are getting with the mattes, so just make sure I'm happy with the blend. I do feel like chucking a shimmer over the top will always save any sort of blending, so I'm just going to take that on my finger, the shade Satin, which was that pinky one, and I'm going to tap that over the centre where it's still bare and blend that out a little bit. But you can see like even the shimmers are beautiful and reflective, but the multi-chromes, they're juicy. They're so good, the multi-chromes. So then once I have packed that satin shimmer all over, I'm just going to go back in, just wiping that brush off on my blanket that I got across my knee, just go back in with that fluffy brush to tap over the edges. But I am quite happy with how that looks. Like that is, I'm just going to go in with a bit of touch, go in with a bit of that to help blend the edges a little bit. But I am happy with how that's looking. Like, you don't have to use the multi-chromes. I want to, and I'm gonna, because, I mean, the bingo gods told me to use it, and who am I to argue? So I'm just going to tap over a bit of that radiant over the very centre. It's so good. Oh, I love that shade. I absolutely love that shade. Like, they have done something with that. There is something in that. It's so pretty. So again, just one last tap with that classy shade. Oh, I'm losing my marbles today. One last tap with that. One of my brushes is shedding. I don't know which one. And I think that that's as much as I can do. I can't do anything too crazy with 3 matte shimmers, 3 matte shimmers, 3 brown mattes, a pink shimmer and a multi-chrome. There's only so much that I can do, but I feel like I have done what I can there. I'm just going to add more of that radiant shade because, oh, why not? Why not? Yeah, I think I'm done. I think that that is as much as I can do for the lid space. So I'm actually going to do the rest of my face with you today because I always go off and do the rest of my face and then come back, but I feel like we've got time. We've got time today. So I will do the rest of my face with you. I'm just taking some micellar water on a cotton pad. I'm going to clean up my hands first because I'm covered in eyeshadow now. And I'm just going to, I don't think that there was any fallout, but just in case. And also sharpen up that outer corner a little bit. So for foundation, I am going to use the Technic Triple Wave foundation that came out in the summer and I just love. I'm going to use quite a bit to try and, oh, there's that lump in it, to try and cancel out this redness. I thought it would have calmed down by now, but apparently not. So that's like a pump and a bit-ish, and I'm using a sponge. Of course I am. Then for concealer, the Sleek In Your Tone concealer. I have this in 1N. I don't think that this is my perfect shade. I think I picked the wrong shade when I repurchased this, but we will power on. I'm just gonna very carefully sort of take that up to the inner corner where the dark circles do persist and tap that out with a brush. And then I'm just tapping over the edge of that concealer with the sponge. And then I need to like fix the eyeshadow a little bit, but that will be fine. For bronzer, I haven't used this since I rolled it out of my Project 10 uses, whenever that was. The Catrice Holiday Skin bronzer. Love this bronzer. Let's warm up the face with this a little bit. I do feel like this is a very warm bronzer, but I feel like with the warmth on the eyes, anything goes. Then for blush, the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. This is in Rosy Rosewood. Beautiful autumnal. So good. Beautiful autumnal shade. Does seem a little counterintuitive to put all that foundation on to cancel out the redness in my skin and then bathe in blush, but it's who I am as a person, okay? So all of that blended in, and then let's finish off the eyes. I'm going to do the Collection Fast Stroke liquid liner because I want a matte brown liquid liner. So let's go in with this one and let's do a wing. A little something like that. I feel like a black wing would have looked a little bit too harsh with the browns on the eyes, so I'm just going to go back in with that smaller fluffy brush. No more product on it, but now that I'm looking like real close up in this little handheld mirror, I'm noticing that I didn't do a real great job of blending, so I'm just going to blend basically while that eyeliner dries. I'm just going to tap over all of that eyeshadow, and I will also just get this palette back up. Before I go in for mascara, I will do the lower lashes. So let's go in with Classy, this one, on the lower lash line. So just taking that shade right on the end of that brush and running that all the way along the lower lashes. A little something like that. So we're getting sort of smokier on the lower lash line as well. I'm not going to add any of that shimmer onto the lower lashes because I don't like how shimmer looks under my eyes, but I am going to use this, which is the Catrice 12-Hour Ultra Precision Gel Eye Pencil. I'm going to put this in my waterline, I think. This is like a coppery shade. What's it called? Rosy Copper. There we go. So I'm just going to run that in the waterline, like so. Just add a little bit of something. And I'll just tap that over that liquid liner as well, where I put that shimmer down the centre. So it'll sort of bring out the colour in that shimmer over the top of the liquid liner. Why not? Just a little tappy tap over there. Nothing too dramatic. Then let's do mascara. I'm going to use the Beauty Bay High Key Mascara. Do a healthy amount of mascara today, I feel. I feel like I would normally do false lashes with this sort of dramatic eye, but honestly, it's like 6:30 on a Sunday evening, and I have got a pack of, what's it called, that pasta that's got stuff in the middle of it? Rigatoni? Tortellini. I've got a pack of plant-based chicken and bacon tortellini that is calling my name from the fridge. So honestly, I just want to be quick because I'm starving. I'm so hungry. So that's the mascara done. I feel like I definitely jabbed that further into my right eye than I necessarily expected it to, but we are looking dark, we're looking smoky. Not necessarily as autumnal as I thought it was going to, but I'm hoping that a brown lip will autumnify. That's a word. This look. So this is the Essence 8-Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner in the shade 14 because it's iconic. I've not used this before, so keep your fingers crossed for me yet again. Okay, I feel like this lip goes pretty perfect. Like, I don't normally do a brown, and I have just scribbled in the whole lip with that lip liner. Just sort of tapped that all over. Let's go in with a little bit of the Milani lipstick in 110 Lustful because it's on my table. Truly, and that is enough of a reason for me. Yeah, I feel like that lip combo has definitely made this feel more autumnal. So that is NUDETRALS Palette Bingo. These 5 shades, one look. Nobody is mad. Nobody is mad at this look, especially me. I think that this turned out incredibly well. I do feel like looking at this, it looks familiar. Did I already basically create this look already? Have you just watched me film a video that I have already done? Possibly. Very possibly, but I'm not mad. It's almost a shame for me to go downstairs and eat pasta and not film some more videos, because I think that this has turned out really nice, but the pasta needs to be eaten and I am starving, so it will happen. So I would love to hear, oh my hair, I would love to hear what you think of this palette. If you have it, I'd love to hear what you think of this look. I am thrilled. I would also love to know, are you at all interested in seeing a palette bingo with the Gothic palette? Because I feel like I could absolutely do it. It would be more challenging. I would maybe pick less shades. I would maybe just play it by ear, say like minimum 3 shades and just see how we go. I might just pick 4 because there's only 12 shades in this palette. And again, if I pick all shimmers, then it will be a disaster. And I do believe that they are restocking this soon. I think they said at the end of October. I don't know. But if you'd like to see a palette bingo with this one, I think that that could be quite fun. More of a challenge than this one, because obviously this is just browns. This is just brown tones and it's always going to end up sort of looking this way, but I love how this one has turned out. With the brown lip as well. I love it. So let me know, do you want to see Gothic palette bingo? I'm happy to do it if you're happy to watch it, but don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.